Hi everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce and this is a wrap-up video. Okay, so today I'm going to be wrapping up books number 17 to number 19 and also book number 25 that I have read so far this year. The first book I'm going to talk about, which is number 17, is King's Rising by C.S. Pacat, which I gave 5 stars to. This is the conclusion of the Captive Prince trilogy. If you've been on my channel at all in the last year, you will probably know how much I live and breathe this series. And this was everything that I ever hoped it would be. Everything I wanted to happen happened, and a few other things that I never knew I needed until I read them happened, and it was just absolutely perfect. I have nothing bad to say about this book or this series in general. It's everything I need in my life, and I couldn't be happier with the conclusion, and I'm just so glad that things worked out the way that they did. And I can't wait for the 3 short stories that C.S. Pacat is currently writing that are set in this universe, because I just am not ready for this series to end. The next 2 books that I read are little independently published comics that I picked up while I was on holiday in Melbourne. Well, actually, I won them while I was on holiday in Melbourne, but that's another story. I will probably also do a comic/zine haul from Melbourne because I have a few. And yeah, it'll be something a little bit different. So the first one I read is called Young Beans, and the second one is called Starry Tellers. This one is by an author called Alicia Jade, who also edited and wrote a story for this one. The reason I am only including these comics in my haul, in my wrap-up, and not any of the others that I got is because these are the only 2 that are actually on Goodreads, so they're the only ones that are going to count. There is a website where they are available, which I will link down below if you want to get them for yourself, but I don't know if the site ships internationally or not because I haven't been on it yet. This is about a girl who is trying to grow beans in a community garden and having a little bit of trouble with it. And there's a guy who is also gardening in the community garden who kind of comes over and says, you know, why are you so concerned about this? They're just beans. And she kind of explains how they're not just beans, they are actually very important, and it's very important that this actually works out for her. And it is very, very cute, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And then this one is an anthology of short comic stories to do with the stars. A vast majority, if not all of them, are queer stories. Anyway, it's just really, really beautiful. The production quality is excellent. There's a bit of silver foil on the cover here, and just everyone's art was so interesting, and all of the stories really kind of drew me in and got me involved, even though they were so short. So yeah, I'm just so pleased that I got the opportunity to read this because it's beautiful. I think I gave both of these 4 stars. And then the last book I'm going to talk about in this wrap-up is also a 4-star book, and that is Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan. I actually really enjoyed this. There is some suspension of belief required because they live in a town where homophobia doesn't really exist, which is actually excellent. Like, I was reading it and I was like, this is so nice. It's just amazing. I want to live in this town. But also, it doesn't mean that they exist in a bubble. There are people who live outside the town who are gay and who have kind of problems with that, and they don't have an easy life. Specifically, the main characters, specifically Paul's friend Tony, doesn't have a very easy time being gay. And but it was just really nice to not have the lack of homophobia be presented as something that was the norm. Like, it was literally just this one town where it didn't exist. And it's just about Paul kind of having this relationship with this one guy, but then there's this other guy that he used to go out with who maybe things are starting up again with, and it's a very real exploration of teenage relationships, I think, and just the way that you fuck things up without meaning to, and how it's so easy to hurt people even when you're not intending to hurt them, and also explores, you know, the best way to fix that, to apologize and to make it better. Sometimes you can't make it better, sometimes you can. Anyway, I went into this book not expecting to enjoy it very much because I've heard some mixed things, but then I just really, really, really liked it. It was super cute, and apart from the lack of homophobia, I didn't think it was unrealistic at all. Yeah, I've probably had more thoughts about this when I was reading it that I can't actually remember right now. But yeah, it was a solid book and very cute, and I'm definitely going to read it again at some point. And yeah, definitely worth it. So those are all the books I'm going to talk about in this wrap up. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you thought, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.